Nobody in this administration actually cares about Charlie Kirk, and it is the reason that you shouldn't be forced to either. We know Donald Trump cares more about his ballroom than his fake buddy, and he's only trying to exploit this for as much political gain as possible. But let's take a look at Kash Patel, someone who literally created the circumstances not only for this to take place, but a complete failure into the investigation and finding of the alleged assailant. We have seen screw up after screw up from Kash Patel, and even Donald Trump is starting to notice, which is the reason that new reporting from Fox, of all places, is suggesting it is over for Kash Patel and the walls are closing in. We are going to get into how Trump turned on him, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into this breaking new reporting about how it is over for Kash, I want to start with one of the biggest reasons why, and it's how he doesn't do his job.
Widespread concern within the FBI that Kash Patel is just simply not taking the FBI director job as seriously as he should be. I spoke to more than 15 current and former FBI and Justice Department officials for this story, and among the things that I learned was that Patel's 8:30 a.m. intelligence briefing was reduced from 5 days a week to 2 days a week because he had trouble showing up on time. And when he does attend, I was told his briefers are finding it hard to hold his attention. Meanwhile, he's been traveling around the country on FBI jets, including to Las Vegas, where he has a home, and to Nashville, where his country singer girlfriend lives. And he's also been spotted at pro hockey games and ultimate fighting fights, hobnobbing with celebrities.
You can't seriously tell me that Kash Patel, a guy who spends all of his time partying and didn't leave New York for Utah on the day of the shooting because he was having too much fun at his nice dinners in the club, actually cares about Charlie Kirk. He doesn't. This is an opportunity for political exploitation of this event for the administration. That is the reason why we've seen at the Pentagon and at the FBI, people lose their jobs, sometimes just for sharing Charlie Kirk's own posts and own words on their social media pages. By reposting what Charlie Kirk has said to expose the disgusting person that he was, that'll get you fired. And it's not the only example, and Kash Patel's mass purges at the FBI have led us to the place, the dangerous place that we're in right now. And before we get into how Kash might be getting fired, I want to start with those who he fired biting back.
3 former top FBI officials targeting Kash Patel and targeting this administration on the grounds of unlawful removal from their jobs. They accused Kash, money sign, of dismissing them as part of a campaign of retribution because they didn't demonstrate sufficient political loyalty. And Patel not only acted unlawfully, but deliberately chose to prioritize politicizing the FBI over protecting the American people. That is the key point here. The FBI is not a place where you put in your partisan friends. It's not a spoils system part of the federal government, okay? We want agents who have expertise and experience going after bad guys. That's the job of the FBI. We're dealing with small men who don't care at all about the country, who care about putting their fucking name and image on random coins to hand out to people, who care about their social media engagement. And what they're doing is targeting and snuffing out people who do care about the country, who do care about their jobs, care about their families, care about our families, who want to protect us. And they're getting pushed out because they're being slandered, because they're perceived foes of the MAGA agenda, because they were doing their job investigating criminals on January 6th. It is sick what these people are doing at the FBI. It is absolutely sick, and it is going to lead to a more dangerous country. And I think that both on the merits and on the politics of this, people should be outraged by the way that our federal police force is being run right now.
Again, I just have to say that Kash Patel created the conditions that has led us to this place, a much more dangerous place, a place without trust in institutions. We can't trust anything coming out of the FBI, all this nonsense of Kash Patel saying that the bullets had engravings supporting of trans people, which was just a lie that was all speculation and trying to spin up hate. And now he is claiming that there were close ties to trans supporting groups, which is total nonsense. Again, they just want to go after a marginalized community. Kash Patel's own failures are his fault. He's set up a broken system at the FBI that led to the alleged shooter's father having to turn him in. He didn't track him down. Trump is disgusted with him because of this, and a new report shows just how far this might go. New. Fox News reports that Trump allies are already planning to oust FBI Director Kash Patel and replace him with former Missouri AG Andrew Bailey, set to be sworn in Monday as co-deputy director of the FBI alongside Dan Bongino. Sources close to Trump say he was unhappy with parts of Patel's performance, including a public feud with AG Bondi over the Epstein case. The White House, Bondi, Blanche have no confidence in Kash. Pam, in particular, cannot stand him. Blanche either, one source told Fox. Kash Patel has seen scandal after scandal and screw up after screw up come out of the FBI, all while his eyes bulge and he yells like an idiot. Kash Patel is really competing to be the most idiotic member of this administration, which is always surprising to me when it's a conversation, considering all of the success that Pete Hegseth has had at being drunk on the job and being an idiot. He really exceeds expectations in that department, and Kash is now trying to catch him. The buffoons, both of them are. But this is serious screw ups when even Donald Trump is recognizing how bad you are at his job. But again, I have to reiterate the fact that I find it embarrassing that conservatives are demanding that we apologize, that liberals condemn these actions, that it's all our fault. When not only a guy like Kash Patel, who has an enemies list that he published, he put on record that Joe Biden, that Kamala Harris, that all of these former Trump officials who spoke out against him and have now had their security detail stripped, that they are enemies of the state. Donald Trump called them the enemy from within. Kash Patel said that. So there's your rhetoric, by the way, MAGA. There's the inflamed rhetoric. But the guy who has so broken apart the FBI that they couldn't find this alleged assailant because Kash Patel has broken the Bureau. So if they're doing that, if they're fucking up at that degree, how is it our fault? Maybe you take some accountability for the idiots you elected, for the political climate they created. This is on them, not us. And this is not even touching on the Epstein files, which, by the way, there's new info that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are covering up. Sheldon Bright, White House, broke it down right here.
This New York Times reporting about the dark Epstein money moving through J.P. Morgan, massive amounts of cash being transferred to the people young girls who he was victimizing at the time. And J.P. Morgan allowing it all to happen until the very last minute, until he's actually in handcuffs, is one of those stories that sounds like something you could have mapped out for us if you'd had the resources that the Times had on this.
Yeah, with the added feature here that those federal reports that the bank filed when it troubled to file them are actually called suspicious activity reports. That's what SARS, the terms, stands for. So if you wanted a clue as a bank whether this was suspicious activity, you might look at the heading of the form that you filed that said suspicious activity reports. Clearly, this is the same material that Chairman Wyden and the Finance Committee revealed a while ago. And so there's been plenty of opportunity for this to be investigated by the FBI. So while Attorney General Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel were doing all this big talk about getting to the absolute bottom of everything, here was this trove of information right in front of them and no visible effort to do the slightest bit of investigation. And again, these things are called suspicious activity reports, for Pete's sake.
You have to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. And this new reporting is the reason why I've just started talking so much about the Epstein associates that Donald Trump is so clearly covering for. And we just have to start asking questions everywhere. And we have to really do our own digging here. Like a great example was a lawyer for the Epstein estate said on Lawrence O'Donnell's show that they would, if subpoenaed, have to turn over the birthday book and other documentation. And Ro Khanna and Robert Garcia said, oh, well, hell yeah, we're going to subpoena that information. We're going to subpoena that birthday book. That's why it's public, right? That independent digging, that us figuring it out, like that's what has to happen. And the Epstein associates are the thread that we really have to pull at because they can't hide anything. As much as Donald Trump will keep the DOJ under wraps, try to silence Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, like he can do that. He can try at least. But he can't do that with Epstein's associates. It's why he is so terrified of them. And that's why this new development was especially damaging to Trump.
He engaged potentially. Now, I think that is more incriminating than the birthday. The birthday just makes him look like a creep. But it's joking about selling a woman. when and why is that ever funny? And why is it that they would say that he would be one that would be buying a woman? And to say fully depreciated, and it had some things that really made you feel like it was somebody that was young, because it was talking about the ability to learn, like a quick learner or something like that. I don't remember the exact language. But it's really disturbing. And honestly, it's really a sad day in this country that this is the guy that is leading our nation. I mean, we used to care about the morality of a leader, but when you're looking at this and you're looking at his actions overall, it doesn't seem like he has a moral compass or that he has an honest bone in his body.
This was truly one of the, and it's hard to say, one of the more sickening elements of the Epstein saga, considering how disgusting it all is. But to talk about a fully depreciated woman, and for our first thought to be, Donald Trump was buying an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old from Jeffrey Epstein, because that's what depreciated would mean for him. And for our brains to be in this place where this is how we're perceiving the president, and rightfully so, it makes me so sick and so sad that this is where we're at. That we see this and we're like, oh yeah, of course, Donald Trump was buying a teenager from Jeffrey Epstein. Like, how have we gotten to this place in our country that we see that? And of course, it's still a huge deal to me, and I'm going to keep talking about it. But so much of the media not only has moved on, but didn't even cover this. I feel like this flew so under the radar. How have we become that numb? That numb to it all. And that's why, as the selective memory MAGAs demand that we have outrage for Charlie Kirk, I just ask, what about everybody else? Is it just when your favorite white nationalist is killed that you care? That's it? Because we've been caring all along, and we're going to continue to on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments.